Thanks to Google Maps, we no longer need to carry around cumbersome and huge paper maps when we're traveling, and we're able to visit almost any part of the world virtually through our computers, smartphones, and tablets. But due to its wide coverage of the world, it is inevitable that some of the scariest places on Earth and creepy Google images will be captured, leaving them exposed for all to see. Number 5. Booger Holler Bridge is located about 5 miles from Albemarle, North Carolina, and allows passage over Big Bear Creek. Other than the fact that it looks old and disheveled, the bridge seems to be very normal, and anyone passing over it would not think that it might be one of the scariest places on Earth found on Google Maps. It is said that many years ago, a man was traveling over the bridge on a horse and buggy, accompanied by his son, when they were unexpectedly swept off the bridge. The man is said to have lost consciousness, and when he eventually came to, his son was nowhere to be found. He searched the waters for hours until exhaustion took its toll, and he also succumbed to the water. Another tale involves a woman whose car stalled on the bridge during a flash flood. She too was in the car with one of her children when her vehicle was swept away, and they both lost their lives. A third tale involves the capital punishment of a woman who was suspected of being a witch. The story goes that if you were to stop on the bridge late at night, she can still be seen hanging from a nearby tree that stretches out over the water. Some believe that when she is spotted, she tries to strangle anyone within reach. Some people have reported that if you were to stop your car near the bridge at night, screams can be heard coming from the woods and the vehicle would struggle to start up again. Though some locals have chalked the screams coming from the woods up to nothing more than bobcats. Others maintain that the bridge is haunted and not for the faint of heart. Number 4. The municipality of Sagada is located in the Mountain Province in the Philippines. The area is home to the Cancanay people, who have a truly bizarre way of burying their deceased, leading to some truly creepy Google Earth images. On the side of the cliffs in the area, it's very common to stumble across coffins that have been hung there. The age of the coffins is not known, and they've not yet been studied by archaeologists, but it's believed that they are several centuries old, as this practice has been ongoing for a very long time. The coffins can be found under natural overhangs on the sides of the cliffs, and in some areas, they're placed on natural rock shelves or on wooden beams that have been slotted into holes dug into the cliffs. The coffins are smaller than traditional, since it's tradition for the Cancanay people to bury their loved ones in the fetal position. This is due to the belief that one should leave this world the same way that they entered, a tradition that is observed throughout many of the pre-colonial cultures in the Philippines. The coffins are usually carved by the people who are to be buried in them, and although there are a great number of them, it's not the usual practice for the Cancanay people to be buried this way. Only individuals who are considered to be distinguished or were honorable leaders have the honor of being placed here, with their social status being used as a gauge for how high up their coffin should be placed. It's far more common for coffins to be placed inside crevices or to be stacked on top of each other inside limestone caves. It's believed that this type of burial allows the spirits of the deceased to keep roaming and protect those that are still in the land of the living. It's also believed that the higher up that an individual is buried, the easier it'll be for them to reach a higher nature when they pass over into the afterlife. Though the coffins are securely fastened upon being placed on the cliffs, they do eventually deteriorate, and it's been known that they may fall and crash open onto the ground below. Most of the coffins are easy to find, though there are some that are close to unreachable due to their height. but they're always left untouched out of respect for the deceased. Number 3. A creepy Google image of a pond in Byron Township, Michigan, tells the sad tale of a mystery that was finally solved after 9 years. In 2015, Brian Hausman was decorating a pine tree in preparation for Christmas outside of Cook Funeral Home in Byron Center. He was making use of a bucket to reach a higher part of the tree when he looked down at the pond and spotted something that shocked him. Submerged in the water, he saw what he believed to be the roof of a car, though he had no idea how it had ended up there. He immediately phoned police, who made their way to the scene and extracted the vehicle from the water. They noticed that there were no tire marks leading to the pond, and that the windows of the vehicle were covered in algae and muck from the pond, leading them to believe it had been there for quite some time. The windows were so dirty that they couldn't see inside, and the doors were rusted shut, making them impossible to open. They decided that their only option was to smash the driver's side and passenger side windows, and they found that the vehicle's occupant was still inside. After finding a license plate and a wallet and conducting a DNA test, they confirmed that the body in the car was that of 72-year-old David Lee Niles. David was reported missing in 2006, 9 years before his car was discovered in the pond. He'd been living in a motel in the Wyoming area, and after visiting a bar that night, never returned. His family says that at the time of his disappearance, he was suffering from cancer and depression, but he had a healthy relationship with them and would regularly keep in contact. His obituary, which was published in 2011 by his family, read that only God knows the time and place of his passing, but the discovery of his vehicle has brought them much needed closure. Number 2. The village of Nagoro in Japan seems from afar to be much like the other villages found in the area. It's located in a remote region, the nearest train station being over an hour away. At first glance, it seems to be populated by mostly elderly people who are going about their day while shopping, waiting for the bus, or gardening. But upon closer inspection, the village takes on a far creepier atmosphere. Most of the people seen in the village are in fact not people. They're actually scarecrows, which far outnumber the number of residents of the sleeping village, creating the appearance that it may be one of the scariest places on Earth. Today, there are a total of 27 people who live there, the youngest of which is over 50 years old. Not too long ago, the village was populated with over 300 residents, but most of them have passed away or moved to larger towns and cities in search of better job opportunities. The scarecrows are the creations of Tsukimi Ayano, who was born in Nagoro. After moving to Osaka during her childhood, she returned to the village as an adult and created a scarecrow in the image of her father to keep the birds from eating the seeds planted in her family's plot. She then had the idea to create more of the scarecrows as a tribute to the residents of Nagoro who'd passed away. In 2003, she created one in the likeness of her neighbor, who she used to talk to on a daily basis. She feels that she can now speak to him again just like it used to be. As more of the villagers passed away and moved to greener pastures, she started to create more of the scarecrows in their images. Each scarecrow takes about 3 days to make out of cotton, and thanks to her creations, the village now sees upward of 3,000 people from all over the world visiting Nagoro as tourists. Some of her creations include construction workers installing a road sign, a couple sitting arm in arm next to a river, a fisherman sitting on his porch next to his young daughter, and several adults seemingly toiling away in the gardens. The last 2 elementary school students graduated a few years ago, and so the building, which was used as a school, was shut down. But it has been brought back to life by another of Tsukimi's creations, which feature 12 students, a teacher, and parents attending classes. On the stage of a nearby gymnasium, a wedding is depicted, with the bride and groom dressed in traditional Western and Japanese clothing. 6 boys dressed in potato sacks stand next to the couple in stark contrast to the formally dressed party. Tsukimi now hosts regular workshops for those who are interested in immortalizing themselves as a scarecrow resident of Nagoro village. Number 1. Trementina Base is located near the community of Trementina, New Mexico. An aerial view of the area reveals a creepy Google Earth image. A zigzagged road that leads to 2 intersecting circles with diamond shapes in the center of each, carved into the ground. The circles are 1,200 feet wide and are located next to Mesa Huerfanita Mountain, which summits at 6,348 feet. The site also includes 2 airstrips and is used as a storage facility by the Church of Scientology. The vault, which has been dubbed by many as the Space Alien Cathedral, serves as an archival storage for the works of the church's founder, L. Ron Hubbard, which are considered by his followers to be scriptural writings and lectures. An ex-Scientologist has revealed that the symbols were created on the mountain as a guide for leaders of the church, who make their way back there from the ends of the universe after a nuclear Armageddon has wiped out all of humanity. Behind a 3-story house which covers the entrance to the vault, tunnels that reach hundreds of feet underground have been dug and are said to contain Hubbard's works. The texts are believed to be either engraved on stainless steel tablets or on gold discs, which are encased in titanium capsules and sealed with argon underground. A paved path leading from the house leads to the mile-long landing strips, water storage units, and several RV trailers. The complex in its entirety is built atop 50 to 60 acres in the middle of the New Mexico desert, about 20 miles west of Las Vegas. Ex-police chief of Las Vegas Sheriff's Department, Tom Gallegos, was given a tour of the vault in the late 1990s, and is believed to be the only non-Scientologist to ever set foot inside the facility. He reported that the vault is full of machinery designed to copy Hubbard's works, and that while he was there, people were transferring writings, speeches, and videos. During the tour, he felt like they were hiding something from him, and he realized that he'd only seen 2 people during the entire time he was there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But I've been Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.